Now, as a person who is someone who's extremely critical of ideologies, a lot of people would think it's a contradiction for you to embrace religion, because religion being the biggest, the oldest ideology of all.
Ideology is a parasite on religious substructures. You can't, look, we could go back to the Harry Potter example. That's a good example. I mean, J.K. Rowling had kids reading like 400-page books, right? She could fill a stadium when she was reading. Why? Is because she got the archetypes right. She got the religious sub-narratives correct. They're not ideologies. Ideologies work because an ideology is a parasite on top of a religious substructure. And a religious narrative has a particular set of characteristics. It's very balanced. So, for example, there's the feminist idea of the patriarchy. Well, the religious idea of society has an evil patriarchy notion built into it. That would be the dying king, the once great dying king. You see this in the Egyptian story of Osiris, for example, who's eventually chopped up by his evil brother. You see it in the Lion King with Mufasa and Simba's father and Simba's evil uncle. Those are the two representatives of the patriarchy, the wise king and the tyrannical king. In a religious story, properly set up archetypal story, there's the natural world, the chaotic world. There's a positive element and a negative element. There's the social world. There's the wise king and the tyrannical king. And there's the individual world, and that's the adversary and the hero. There's always a positive and a negative at each level. And it stops it from being an oversimplification, because it says to you, well, of course the bloody society is an oppressive patriarchy. But it's also the wise father that has taught you to speak every word you know. It's like, you don't get to say only this part of the story without having gratitude for this part of the story. And it's true at each level of the representation. A properly balanced story has got the balance between positive and negative always correct.
Is that in many ways like a lot of people who are anti-Western capitalism are also the only, they will find that capitalism, and Western capitalism in particular, is the only culture that has embraced the acceptance of people,
yeah, right,
like transgender people, people who are gay, people who are marginalized. I mean, Western capitalist society is one of the very few cultures that openly abhors racism.
Right, right, right. Well, and these people are anti-capitalist on their iPhones. Right, you don't get to do that. Right, it's a performative contradiction.
That's so important.
Yeah, they're on their iPhones while they're flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
while
like, well, I'm
flying.
anti-capitalist. It's like, well, actually, no, you're not. You're just deeply confused.